To make dal buna or dal ChorChori, first thing you need is red lentils, right? So what we're going with is the red lentils, right? So as you can see, they are whole and they are not split. Plus I'm using the Indian red lentils because they basically cook faster, right? So one disadvantage of this is basically that if you're new and you're just starting out and you're trying this recipe for the first time, I would advise you to go for the Bangladeshi, or it will be labeled as Bengali red lentils, because those are much smaller and they take a much longer time to cook. So this will cook really fast and they get soft really fast because they have a bigger surface ratio. And the next thing we have is one of the key ingredients is onions. Then we have the garlic, we have chilies, we have ginger, we have coriander. The spices over here are from highest quantity to lowest quantity. So what I have is turmeric, 1.5 tablespoons. And then what I have is coriander, that is about 1 tablespoon. Then we have cumin, that is 1/2 tablespoon. And we have chili, is just to bring out the color of the whole dish. And that is also 1/2 tablespoon. So enough of the ingredients and let's go make it. Alright then, so as you can see, we have added a bit of water to the pan and we are getting it really heated up. So just enough to make your hands get scared when you go close to it. So once it's there, we are going to add in the onions first to sweat the onions, right? So let's take the onions and we're going to put them in. So put your heat on medium instead of high, so that you can really slowly cook it in, and then let the onions sweat in a bit. So as you can see, the onions are sweating nicely. Just spread them out. Alright, so now you can see that the onions have softened. So now we're going to add in the garlic. We're going to cook the garlic in for a while, just to get the aromas out of it. Alright, so as you can see that the garlics are nicely fried, we're just going to add in the chili. And with the chili, we're going to add in the ginger. So for ginger, I'm not going to use all of them because later on we're going to fry and add ginger oil to it. But we're going to add 1/2 of it. And what the ginger does is the ginger gives a bit of freshness to the lentils, right? Because lentils are quite earthy. And then you will need the ginger to come in and give that kick of freshness, and then it's just amazing. Yeah. So we're just going to give it a bit of toss. And then bring it back in. So we have all of this ready. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the dry spices and salt. First we're going to go in with the turmeric, then the coriander, the cumin, the chili, and last but not least, salt. And then we'll give it a mix. So like I've said before, that I never do measure my spices, and this is quite the first time that I'm measuring spices and putting them inside. So it feels very weird for me, right, to measure the spices and then put them in. So you know what I do is I just go in blind and then measure them and put them inside. It's really about the feel more than that, more than you know, the science behind it or the mathematics behind it. It's really about the feeling of which is good to you. So once all the spices have got to know each other very well, we're going to add in the star of the dish, which is the lentils. So we bring in the lentils and we're just going to add them in. And what I have done is that I've just washed them and I have not soaked them, right? Because if you remember, the Indian lentils, they do get soft very quick. So we are in with the lentils, and now we're going to give it a nice mix. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to fry this. We're just going to fry this for a while, right? And if you think that you need to add a bit more oil, then you can go ahead and add a bit more oil. But what we want to do is just to toast the lentils so that it is nice and toasty. It adds a bit to the flavor too. So as you can see, the lentils are going from red towards the white color. So once all of them or most of them are white, it's time to add in the water. So that we're going to boil the lentils, and then pretty much the dish is done. And just the remaining is that you just need to fry a bit of ginger, which we'll do later. And then you'll add as the corianders for garnish. The dish is done. So as you can see that all the lentils, or most of them, has turned to white. And then, they are really asking for the water to go in. So let's put them out of their misery. And we're going to add the water in. So what you want to do is you want to add as much water as the lentils. You don't want to go over that, right? So if you go over that, then if you add too little water, you can add more water to it. But if you add too much water, then you're in trouble. So as you can see that my water level and my lentils are just touching each other. And this should be enough to cook it. As I said again, these are the Indian lentils. So they cook really, really, really fast. Alright guys, so after almost 20 minutes of cooking on low heat, you can see that the water level has come up above the dal, and then you can see that the dal is still whole and they are still, each pot by itself. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some ginger oil that I've fried up the gingers in. So I'm just going to add that in like that. And to garnish and finish things off, we're going to add in the coriander. So just get the coriander sprinkle on top, and cut the corianders chunky because you won't want to bruise the leaves of the coriander. And with that, just give it a bit of mix. So it's wonderful. Give it a bit of mix over there, and pretty much the dish is done. If you liked it, do subscribe, and always remember lentils are a keto-friendly alternate protein source. So this is also considered as a superfood. So go and try it. Thank you.